You're tuned in to Get Right Fantasy.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, friends? Daniel Dopp here from the Fantasy Focused Football Podcast over on ESPN.
It's Fabs here, Michael Fabiano from Sports Illustrated.
You know who you can trust if you've got some questions about your fantasy squad?
Want to check out a cool show on YouTube that'll help you get ready for the fantasy football season?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network. If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Head on over to YouTube. Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network because they're doing everything they can to make you a better fantasy player.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You're tuned in to Get Right Fantasy.
What up? What up? What up, world? Welcome back to the Get Right Fantasy Network. I'm Mike Herrick, aka Classic Mike, and I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving night. Tonight, I'm here on Black Friday with two of my favorite people in the world, good old Kendall and Evan. What's going on, guys? How you guys doing tonight?
Bear the fuck down, baby.
Yeah, I know. You guys are thrilled after that big
number one
win.
rushing team in the NFL. Let's go.
Let's do it.
We now have the best running back duo, DeAndre Swift, Kyle Monungai. The new Swift, it's the new Gibbs and Monty, just like last year.
Hey, man. I mean, they killed it tonight. We had a really good Bears versus Eagles game. Bears winning it 24-15. Had a really good showing overall today for the Bears. So I got two big Bears fans in the house. So excited for that. Tonight, we're going to be helping you guys answer your Week 13 start-sit questions, except for, of course, the Packers, Lions, Chiefs, Cowboys, Bengals, Ravens, and Bears and Eagles. We're going to get them out of there for today. But all great games this Thanksgiving weekend. If you guys want your questions answered right away, throw us a super chat. We will stop everything just to answer your question. Otherwise, we'll be answering them in the order that it is in the chat. We're going to be here for about an hour or so, but it's all based on your questions. So start throwing them in the chat if you haven't already. Just a quick disclaimer, please make sure you guys are using the type of format, tight end premium, full, half, all that type of stuff, 12 team, if you're doing trades and all that. It's just really helpful for us to know those questions. The more detailed, the better. No buys this week. Yeah. So that means everybody's available. We got a bunch of injuries we're going to be tracking for you guys today. The big ones are going to be the QBs. Jackson Dart, he's in full practice. He's good to go. He'll be starting on Monday night versus the Patriots. Aaron Rodgers, he's good to go as well, playing as well. He's full on Thursday. He's good to go for Sunday. Daniel Jones is going to play as well, but he's dealing with a fractured fibula. I've gotten mixed reports that he looks good. He looks a little bit off. Are you guys still okay with playing Daniel Jones in this particular scenario? I'll go with Evan.
So from what I've been told, it's the tibia that you don't want broken.
My bad. Yeah.
But in his case, it is a broken fibula. It's the tibia that you don't want broken. So that's partially, I'm sure, why Daniel Jones is going to be playing through it. It is most definitely risky to be playing with something broken out there, especially if you take a hit to the shins, because defenders fall forward sometimes, and sometimes a helmet will go in a place you don't want it to go in. So I'm fine with benching him this week because he's going to be facing a really tough Houston Texans defense, and this is a division rivalry game. I think this is going to be a tough time for everybody, including Jonathan Taylor. I don't think you bench Taylor. I don't think you bench Pittman. But if you have a better quarterback to take for Week 13 to put in your starting lineup, I'm doing that.
Okay. What about you, Kendall? You in the same boat?
I mean, it's tough, right? Because in thin bench leagues, if you have Daniel Jones, it's a real roster spot. Are you, who are you playing over him? Are you dropping? It's got to be. are you dropping him for someone who has like, you might have 2 to 3 spots higher in the rankings, but probably don't have a head rest of season? So like, I think you have to make the rest of season take. I'm probably running him out just because I like the offense. I like the upside. It's just a bad matchup, but I'm, if I can afford the spot, absolutely. There's a couple guys I would play over him. You probably would have had to have made that decision already. The names above him, I think, are probably not available in most leagues. So the simple answer is yes. If there's a specific guy out there, I don't have too many people in mind, but I could be swayed in particular leagues, but you're probably running them out. Yeah,
I'm in the same boat. Pretty much you got to play him. It's kind of hard not to, but it's a tough matchup, so lower expectations. Guy on the other side of the ball, CJ Stroud, he will be playing this week. He has cleared concussion protocol finally, so he will be out playing against the Indianapolis Colts. The other big news is Baker. Baker is looking like he's trending towards playing, but right now he's listed as questionable. He was limited in certain parts of the week. They have been very quiet about if they will. Baker's a dude. Like, he's a dog. He wants to play. He wants to be out there. Let's all remember, guys like Carson Wentz have had the same injury on the same type of scenario. One hit can really screw up anything. I'd be very cautious playing Baker this week if I was a Baker owner. I'm not. And that's if he plays. Let's just be clear. So I'm a little bit nervous about that. But how do you guys feel? Same thing as Daniel Jones, or is it a little bit more along the lines of I'm finding a better option?
I would still rather play Baker over Daniel Jones this week. Now, the Arizona Cardinals defense, they're better than they've been in quite a while, but this is not exactly a defense I'm writing home about as anything respectable. I think this Tampa Bay offense badly needs Baker out there. If he can go with this shoulder, then yes, because he still has high-end targets, which includes the rookie Emeka Egbuka. And with Bucky Irving expecting to return, that's really going to help open up the passing game for Baker, even when he's not 100%. So even though Bucky Irving is also questionable, he's expected to play as well. I'm fine with starting Baker this week if you are in a 2-quarterback league, or if you're just feeling spicy. Go right ahead.
Nice. Kendall?
Yeah. I mean, Baker's a dog. That's definitely one of those, like, I'm going to underreact to the injury on principle. I think I'm going to be right more often than not. So usually a good bet, especially with him. And then he's someone that, like, last year I did bench him when all of his weapons weren't around. That wasn't me saying, Baker, you're not a dog. That was me saying, he has to rush for a touchdown because everyone's injured. I just don't think he has it around him. And we were right for the most part. But when he's got healthy weapons, even if he's banged up, I'm going to run him out. Much to Evan's point, even if Bucky's in a pitch count, him being out there is still a nice dynamic with the offense. The weapons, I'm still probably higher than market on. Yeah, I'm running Baker out for sure.
Okay, fair enough.
I have one more quarterback to add when you're ready, Mike.
Sure, go for it.
So Max Brosmer is going to be starting at quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings against the Seattle Seahawks.
Ugh.
Now, Brosmer is an undrafted free agent out of the University of Minnesota. J.J. McCarthy has entered the concussion protocol, and he is out for Week 13. I did not see when he took that concussion, but some of it is kind of making me wonder how much of a soft bench this is. But at the same time, if it's really a concussion, you don't want him out there risking his health and safety. So there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be questioning Justin Jefferson, as we're going to get to some of those questions in a moment with Jefferson. Now, Justin Jefferson is still an elite wide receiver. Yes, he's not putting up elite wide receiver numbers, not especially in the last 3 weeks when he struggled to have any worthwhile chemistry with J.J. McCarthy out there. Max Brosmer, being the undrafted free agent that he is, undrafted rookies, or just rookies in general, often lean too heavily on the first read. And the first read is going to be Justin Jefferson. He will be the target hog in this offense. Now, if you have Jordan Addison, if you have TJ Hawkinson, that's when I would consider benching those guys. Jefferson is the only option I want to trust from this Minnesota Vikings offense, even against a really tough Seahawks defense.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. I pretty much have already loaded up most 49er defenses I can in any league that I have defense in one way or another, if I can.
I think you meant Seahawks.
Oh, I meant Seahawks. My bad. I was thinking of the other matchup that I'm grabbing people in because San Francisco is facing Shedeur, and I just don't trust it. So thank you, Evan. I didn't mark that one down, so I appreciate that. Bucky Irving. We're gonna go to the running backs now. Bucky Irving, he's trending towards playing. He's listed as questionable, but everything kind of is in the boat of that he probably will play. He's been practicing all week. He's been pretty good. Alvin Kamara has been ruled out for this game. He is not playing. Teammate Devin Neal was on the injury report, limited, but no longer has the tag. He will be taking over running back duties. As you can see, Kendall is giddy for this type of matchup. So am I. I ended up having to grab him in a few leagues, and people were not thrilled. Love you, buddy.
I have like an 80% share, like a legitimate 8 out of 10 leagues. I had him the week before.
I picked him up in our home league, and my brother's currently like 8-4, and he's like the top team, but I'm 6-6, and I'm within 2 games of first. So our league is very competitive, and I saw the list, and I'm like, everybody's got under 40 that they could spend, and I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna go at the top. So I ended up betting 41 and got it, and I ended up getting him. And my brother was like, "Why do you need him? You don't need him. You're not gonna play him." And I'm like, "Bro, he's a top free agent. I love you."
You see those targets, man.
I know.
I cannot believe he fell in the draft, dude. Like if I'm getting hot and bothered by Kyle the Nun guy, but. Dude,
I know.
Devin Neal was a dog in college.
I know.
He did not have a weakness in his game. He's a solid pass catcher, and I'm
playing him over the next guy we're going to talk about, Kenneth Walker. He was limited, but no tag this week. I'm actually playing him over Kenneth Walker this week just because of the matchup. We also got Trey Benson. He is still on IR, people. Just be aware of that. He has been ruled out. Right now, I heard something about it. I thought I heard whispers of a setback. It's going to be easing him back in. Bam Knight is currently questionable coming into this game as well. Michael Carter and Dearness Johnson are the only 2 really healthy backs for this team. Michael Carter might get another opportunity, and Michael Carter did pretty well the last time he had the start. Marion Hampton still out, ruled out this week. Hasn't been activated yet, so just be aware of that as well. Looks like another week of Vidal.
Dude, he's on a lot of waivers. He was dropped in a lot of thin benches who needed to make a move.
The fact
I picked up Vidal about 10 minutes before I hopped on stream, legitimately in one of my keeper leagues, man.
So IO 2004, we see your question about Vidal. We're going to get to that momentarily.
Yeah, don't worry. We see everybody in the chat. We're just going through the injuries real quick. We just wanted to get those out of the way. We're going to run through the wide receiver injuries, which are pretty quick, actually. Drake London, he's been ruled out. Marvin Harrison Jr. looks like he should be a game time decision. He's listed as questionable. It looks like he's playing. Ready. That's why I said it's like a game time. It looks very in between. He's kind of given the I want to play, but I'm not sure type thing. Like he feels unsure. I'm going to leave it as a game time at this point. That's my feeling at this point. I'm still not going to play him even if he is. I'm just not there yet. I think Michael Wilson has taken over for that particular offense, and it's just him. DK Metcalf, good to go with his ankle. He was hurt in the beginning of the week or at the end of Sunday, and now he's pretty good. Chris Olave, this one's a little bit nerve-wracking for me. Limited, did not practice, limited, and then questionable tag. That's not a good thing, but it's good that he came back on Friday. I would be very cautious, but he does play at 1:00, so come back on Sunday. And I will let you guys know about his status. So make sure you guys are coming back Sunday morning, and I will give you guys more of an update then. Brian Thomas Jr., good to go. He is going to be playing, no injury designation. He is back after being out for a few weeks, so we'll see how that goes. Tight end
My
injuries.
guess is that he will be getting a lot of passes thrown his way, and they will be uncatchable balls because Trevor Lawrence is bad.
He really is. It's so sad.
It is. He was amazing at Clemson, and it's just the Jaguars somehow ruined him.
Yeah. I don't know how. Tight end injuries. There's not really anything that really anybody cares about. Chika Okonkwo is limited, or was limited most of the week, but he's listed as questionable. That's about it. There's really no tight end injuries. So now that I'm all done with those, we can get into these questions. We got IO 2004. What's going on, man? He goes, hello, beautiful people. What up, Io? He goes, did I make a mistake by dropping Sean Tucker for Vidal? I don't have Bucky or Hampton. Should I try and get him back by dropping Ferguson or Brissett? I have Burrow and Gaddison.
I don't think you made a mistake. Like, I wouldn't go as far as to say there's two parts. Like, did you make a mistake? No. Sean Tucker, it like loses a lot more value as an RB2 behind Bucky than Vidal does behind Hampton, even when Hampton's there. That team's happy to have a Vidal as a part of that game. He looks fantastic doing it. But no, at this point, I think if you have Burrow, I'm fine dropping Brissett. You know, at that point, at this point in the year, I'm looking at like, if I lose Burrow again, I'm probably just not winning. At the end of the day, right? So just go for maximum upside. And in that case, yeah, I do like I like keeping a Sean Tucker or bringing it back over a Brissett and just playing balls to the walls, man. If Joe gets injured, that's a whole separate problem that we're just not going to prepare for. We're not going to lose any percentage points hedging our bets at this point in the season. So that's what I do.
Yeah, IO 2004, I'm in agreement with Kendall here. Like, if you're stashing two quarterbacks right now just because Burrow got hurt and you needed somebody to play, which would have been Jacoby Brissett, you can go ahead and drop Brissett at this point. You don't need to hold on to two quarterbacks if this is a one-quarterback league. Yeah. Now, as far as your main question goes, dropping Sean Tucker for Vidal, absolutely not a mistake. I think that was a fine move to do. Sean Tucker is going to be lucky to be seeing low-end flex volume with Bucky Irving back, and even last week against a tough Rams defense, he was not very good. 12 carries for 42 yards and then caught one pass for 4 yards. That was a bad game for the Buccaneers. They basically walked into a metaphorical buzzsaw against that Rams defense. So I don't think Tucker is not a league winner. He's not a must hold. I think you did perfectly fine picking up Vidal. You may not have Bucky or Hampton. That's totally fine. You can hold on to Vidal until Hampton actually comes back, and then even then, I don't think Vidal's going to be splitting work with Hampton. I think he's going to be a change of pace guy. So, yeah, you can rent Vidal just perfectly fine.
Yeah, I agree. I think Vidal is just, I think he's more than fine. If you're trying to solidify your running back core, because what he's saying here, my other is to drop either Tootin or Benson. His running backs are slim with Rico, Monty, and Swift at this point. So I understand trying to get a little bit more depth at running back, but I think Vidal should be fine. I think, keeping Brissett as a backup QB, if you have the bench space, only if you have the bench space. If you're in a 5 bench, not worth keeping. 6 bench, maybe 7 bench, I'd be like, sure. That's kind of a given at that point. But anything more than that, I would pretty much be telling you, you don't need Brissett. It's not the end of the world. Go, pick up go get Sean Tucker back if you want. But at the end of the day, you don't need to give up at all. I think he's going to help you for another week or two, and you should be fine. So
super chat. We got a super chat.
Oh, we do. Oh my, look at that. Thanks, man. So he goes, how about Ferguson or Gadsden rest of the season?
I think that's a fantastic question. Hoping you guys don't mind me going first here, because I think Ferguson is definitely going to be the stronger hold over Oronde Gadsden. But if you have one or more flex spot in your league, there's nothing wrong with holding on to both tight ends if you happen to be holding both. Now, I'm not sure what you're trying to accomplish here, IO 2004, but if you already have both Jake Ferguson and Oronde Gadsden the second, go right ahead and hold on to them, because Gadsden will have some tight end 2 value with tight end 1 upside rest of season. 100%. Me personally, I do not have a philosophy that includes rest of season rankings, because I don't agree with them, because too much can change on a whim's notice, and there are too many variables in fantasy football that make rest of season rankings just instantly change like that, and I try to avoid them if I can, but they're both still good holds rest of season.
Dude, that's like razor thin for me. It's pretty close. That's insane. Like, so here's where I'm at. If I have to think through this like logically right now, Ferguson has been a very, very good tight end in an offense that keeps getting better. My only concern with Ferguson as I look forward is when I look at Ferguson's production early in the season, I don't think Pickens from a target share perspective was being looked at as the weapon that he is on the offense right now. And Javonte is becoming a bigger thing as they just kind of round out their offense with the run game. I worry that Ferguson starts to take more and more of a backseat, but I think he feels like, from a rankings debate standpoint, he feels like the chalkier play than like Gadsden just feels riskier, and we've seen less of it. Ferguson's been good for a while. He got the bag in the offseason because of what he means to the team. I think I'm actually going to go Gadsden, but purely from I see that offense and Gadsden's role in that offense with more upside than Ferguson. And this is based off of like, if you asked me last week before this most recent game, I think I would have had them flip-flopped, probably one exact spot. But specifically, I'm not box score hunting, but when I watch the game and compare it to what I'm looking at with the box scores, and I'm seeing the target distribution, I'm seeing the red zone targets and how they're going about manufacturing touchdowns. I think Ferguson's probably going to be a touchdown-dependent tight end and someone that I just don't think is going to absorb enough of the overall just like air yardage. I think so much of that is going to Pickens, and CD is going to be running into form a little bit as well. So razor thin. I don't think a Ferguson take is bad. I'm saying I think it makes a lot of sense. I'm playing for a little bit more upside, and I'll admit I'm embracing risk, but I am going to go Gadsden for the for specifically not like, do I think he's a better tight end? It's more of I think his role in his offense has more upside based on this past week. This changed my ranking.
Oh, so I'm going to answer my question. Don't worry, Robbie. I see you in there throwing a super chat. We'll get to you after I get my
Love
take.
These super chats, guys. Keep them coming if you can.
Yeah, dude,
we appreciate
I want
it.
to lock in on like the best
right
I got here.
And so, no pressure to give us super chats. If you guys have a question, we will get to it.
Yeah, right after the other. In this case, for me, it's going to be Fergie. It's really more because of the offense that he's currently in. Last 2 weeks are just a really good barometer of what they can do against two really good defensive teams, and they were able to put up 1,000 yards with 3 different receivers plus. And he's been averaging at least six targets and 5 catches for the last 3-4 weeks. He's a lot more consistent. He's a lot better. I think Gadsden has a higher ceiling, but you have to be able to need that at one point. I just feel more comfortable in the right now. Ferguson's safer. He's just definitely a safer pick to move forward for the rest of the season. He also they both have generally about the same type of strength of schedule if I'm looking at it correctly. So I really feel a lot stronger about Fergie just because of the offense, just because of everything going on. And I love Justin Herbert. Let's be clear.
But that offensive line is awfully shaky. If Herbert can't get rid of the ball fast enough to Gadsden, right?
That's going to be the next thing. Is they're not going to be able to do a lot with that. And I agree. It's the offensive line. They're already down 3. The outside tackles are gone. That's just it's not a good hit. So I'm going to go with Fergie for this one. So, Robbie, let's get to your question. We got Genty, Dottle, and Buka in the flex. I'm assuming you're only wanting one for this, and I'm assuming it's full PPR. If we don't know which one it is, we're going to assume that's the case. So, full PPR, one person needed. How do you go? Who's going here?
I can give you my first. I'll just jump in. I know my first out easily is going to be Dowdle. That matchup is nightmarish.
I pulled him.
So he's just great talent. I just cannot see outside of a fluky, outside of the Rams willingly letting Dowdle do that, and I don't see that happening. That's a defense that legitimately scares me. So it just becomes Genty Igbuka from there. How do you guys go about that?
The hard part with Genty coming off a slight injury, he's fine. He's off the injury report. But at the end of the day, going against the Chargers, another tough defense, but he's still heavily involved. They've been trying to get him a little more in the passing game. And Buka, I'm a little nervous about with Baker if he's playing. If Baker plays, I'm a little bit better with it. But if he doesn't play, I am very scared of Mbuka. I'm currently playing Olave over Mbuka at this particular moment for just the concept of what might happen. If Olave's out, I'm okay with changing it. But in this case, it's Genty or Mbuka because I agree with Kendall. Battle is not the play. I think I'm going to go Genty, and it's really just because of the concept is the guaranteed of a touch and more guaranteed, and he can control the offense more than Mbuka can. So if they're in a situation where Baker gets hurt, you are then not screwed by someone else getting hurt. Genty has to be the one to get hurt for it to ruin the whole world. You know what I mean? I'm going to go with Genty here.
I have to agree with Mike here. I think Ashton Genty is the move here. In my flex rankings, which unfortunately are not yet posted anywhere, but hopefully we can get that up on the website soon-ish. But yes, I have Genty at flex number 22, and then I have Dowdle at 30, and then I have Egbuka down at 39. And I think that the Arizona Cardinals secondary is not... I mean, they're not horrible like they used to be, but
Will Johnson's playing.
Yeah, Will Johnson's playing, and then Tampa Bay is going to be a bit hindered with this offense, being that Baker's playing not 100%, and I think they're a bit rattled from that Rams matchup, so I would not look to them to be playing their best football against a bad Cardinals team. That being said, I think Ashton Genty is your best bet because the Raiders' offense is so bad, they're going to have to dump the ball off to him many, many times in this game. A minimum of 5 times, I should add, because he's gotten a minimum of 5 targets over the last 4 games. So you can take that to the bank if you're in PPR, Robbie. And yeah, go ahead, stick Ashton Genty in there, and go ahead and feast.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. This is a clear-cut Genty decision here. And as you guys mentioned, just look at past 4 games. It's not just the 5 targets. Past 2 games, 8 targets. 8 targets, right?
Especially
past 4 games, 2 receiving touchdowns in there. He's looking like what we always wanted Travion Henderson to be legitimate. And this is 8 targets in back-to-back games. 50% of the last 4, he's catching 5+ balls and a touchdown. Right? We're talking about a 5+ point. 5 to 10 points straight up in PPR outside of rushing, which is what he's known for. And the chances that he falls into the end zone, look at any sports book, and they're not laying a whole bunch to make that happen, right, on any given day. So Genty is just too chalky. In non-fluky performances, I don't see how he doesn't average 15 to 20 points per game when it's not a weird fluky thing where nothing goes his way, right? Give me Genty. And that's not an Egbuka. I just think Egbuka on average is going to hit more like 12 to 15 points per game, but there's a reason why elite RBs have that elite RB ceiling, right? It's just different, right? There's a reason Christian McCaffrey's outscoring most quarterbacks.
And if you're in a dynasty league, Egbuka is an amazing elite hold, but this year in redraft, it's going to be shaky. So he's a fine wide receiver 3 rest of season if you want to go off of that, but Egbuka's not a guy you necessarily have to start every week.
Not a problem there, Robbie. That's what we're here for. Please make sure if you guys are new to the channel and you want to, see us again, we're here every Friday, every Sunday, Mondays, and Wednesdays as well. So make sure you guys are liking and subscribing if you haven't already. Really appreciate the help there. So thank you guys for your contributions with the super chats. Really do appreciate it.
Church Boy Reg, let's go to him.
Yes, we got Church Boy. What's going on, man? He goes, Jefferson or Olave? I like this question.
I have Olave at, if my rankings will come up, please. I have Chris Olave at wide receiver 11 and Justin Jefferson at wide receiver 18. And that's largely because of that tough Seattle secondary versus Max Brosmer throwing him the football. But Chris Olave is the safer bet with Tyler Shugg building quick chemistry with him against a really terrible Miami secondary. So go ahead and fire up Olave.
Yeah, he's in form play. That injury does worry me a little bit. So, I'll just go ahead and say this, right? It's a game. If I have him, I'm paying close attention to it. I do want to know as much practice report info as I can leading into it. And I want to go there. But Olave has played, outside of the concussions and stuff. He's typically been a tough wide receiver. He's not like Waddle gets injured, he's not off the field. Olave plays through pretty much everything. He's not known to be a wide receiver who's ever out. I mean, as a guy who's owned him in Dynasty for many years, he's as consistent as it's ever been. Especially, I remember his rookie year. It was just he was questionable a lot down the stretch and just delivered all the time over the middle, getting hit. he's definitely he doesn't have to hit more targets than Jefferson. Like Jefferson will probably out target Olave. Jefferson will have some like gaudy 14 or 15 targets, but Olave's 10 to 12 is probably going to come with a touchdown, and it's probably more consistent. Jefferson's ceiling is greater, but the chances that they throw for under 200 yards is probably expected. And we're asking Justin Jefferson to be a legitimate 60+% of the entire offense that game. That's not something I want to bet on too often, even with his his talent, right?
Right on.
So yeah,
I do not trust Jefferson in one way or another. I don't care how healthy he is over Olave. I don't trust Max Mosber in one way or another. Last 3 weeks, Justin Jefferson has not been doing what he normally has, even with JJ McCarthy behind center. He's currently wide receiver 22 on the year for the last 3 weeks. And on top of that, Chris Olave is, at least wide receiver 19. I know it's not that big of a difference. I just like Olave a little bit more. I'm going to pay attention this Sunday morning. Come back and visit me. But at the end of the time, I will, we'll be able to tell you if he's starting. If he's active, I'm playing Olave. If you get the alert that he's not, of course you got to play Jefferson and deal with it. But I would not be playing Jefferson this week unless I had better options.
And I'll put it to you this way: if Micah Parsons can play through a back injury, so can Chris Olave.
Yeah, and he's played through much more than that. So
yes,
let's just be clear. But Church, man, we appreciate you. Make sure you guys come back. If you have more questions, throw them in the chat. We're here for you guys. We're going to answer anything that we can.
I kind of hope that Max kid is good, low key though. Like, you guys realize the NFC North is the most disgusting division we've seen in a while. Like the Packers are the outside of the Vikings. Like if the three teams that are doing good in that division, it's disgusting right now. If Max could be good, the division would be insane. And we kind of need a better villain in the Vikings. We deserve better at this point.
I hate the Vikings as much as the next NFC North rival, but I got to give JJ McCarthy credit in week 1 against us. He did beat us in week 1 when we were trying to figure out our new identity. So yeah, McCarthy's bad, but he's a fighter. And even though he can't play, the Vikings are still a foe to worry about because they still have some talent.
For sure.
Yeah. I get like better than Mac Jones vibes from JJ McCarthy right now. We're like, maybe he can take Kyler's job in 2 years or something.
Well, they keep talking about the concept of Mac Jones being the top target for the Vikings for next season. So that's definitely
Alex.
So
how you
Alex,
doing, buddy?
What's going on, man? He goes, hey guys, what's up? This is my team week 13. Any changes would you guys make? All right. So we got Drake May, Travion Henderson, RJ Harvey, starting with the rookies, going JJ, who we just talked about, JSN, McBride, Junkins, and then his bench is Bucky, Woody, Wandell, and Mbuka, Loveland, who already played, Pierce, Algier. It's a 10-man full PPR. He's 10-3.
I think you can fire up Bucky over RJ Harvey.
Ooh, I would not.
Oh, really?
I would. If he's playing, I absolutely would. I don't believe in a pitch count for Bucky Irving. I know y'all are shaking your heads, but I'm still sending it, man. Send it. Give me Bucky Irving if he plays.
Even outside of the pitch count, I've never seen a chalkier like
if
RJ Harvey is the player that I think he is, and I don't think he's shown me enough that he isn't.
Washington.
I feel like RJ Harvey is just going to go out and run for like 120 yards in a touchdown.
Washington is 27th against the run. We are not.
I feel like he's going to have his Travion Henderson like 120.
Yeah.
He's going to, if he doesn't have that, he'll have 80 yards and 5 catches for 40, and he'll do exactly what Genty's been doing the last couple weeks, where like give me the over-under on his fantasy points. Like, I'll literally lay you 1-to-1 that his over-under's at closer to 15 fantasy points than like the 12 to 13 he's projected. Like, I won't even do the like Bucky pitch count thing. I think what's closer to the truth is the team would love to have Bucky on a pitch count, except then they're going to play football, and by the second play of the game, it's going to be Bucky gives us the best fucking chance to win this. I think we got to run him out a little bit more, right? Like, that's probably going to be closer to the truth. So I think he's going to get more run than the team wants him to. But even at that, it's not an anti-Bucky pitch count.
No.
It's a
RJ.
My boy RJ is going to have himself a game. Yeah. He's a top 12 play for me this week. I get him out of my lineup.
I need to bring him.
I would throw Judkins out for some questionable plays way before RJ Harvey. In my opinion, I have Judkins like 5 or 6 spots below him if I had to.
I have RJ Harvey as my RB25 this week.
Yeah, I'm at 17, and honestly, I can bring him up a little bit. And honestly, I think he has a chance to smash this week. The only guy in this lineup that I'm questioning is JJ, with what he has on the bench with Wandell and Mbuka. I would maybe, I don't know how you guys feel about this. I would maybe play Wandell over JJ.
I wouldn't.
No, I couldn't. I can't do that just yet. I see where you're going with it, but actually, I think there's something
hold on.
like.
Let me do my math
It's
here.
Dart, not Jameis. If it was Jameis, let's have that conversation. But I don't think it's Dart.
Since week 7, I'm going to give you weeks. I'm going to go all the way to week 7. Since week 7, that included Dart in there, by the way. Mm-hmm. Wandale Robinson's been wide receiver 8 in full PPR.
The New England Patriots average 26.7 half PPR points per game given up to wide receivers, which is mid. It's not horrible, but it's also not that great either.
No, they are right. They're 21st against the pass. I'm not, and that's the thing with Gonzalez being hurt. He was a big contributor to why they are at that point now. But at the end of the day, he's coming back. He's a good press guy. But the problem with press guys, and he's a little bit of a bigger corner comparatively to a guy like Wandell. They're going to find ways to manufacture touches for him, and they have been. Now, I agree. Dart, if it was Winston over Brissett or over Dart, I'd feel a little bit better about it. But Wandell has been doing very well the last few weeks and has been scary good. I predicted him in the top 24, actually the top 20 of wide receivers at the end of the season. I'm actually shocked that it's coming up to that point.
I have Wandale at wide receiver 22 while I have Jefferson at 18.
I have Wandale at 12 and Jefferson at 19. So I don't know. I don't hate to take the bias into it.
The stats the entire season say that if you blind bet that most of this year, you would have been right a lot. Actually,
that's my point. He's gotten 61 target in the 5 weeks that I just showed you. He's the leading target guy at 61 and 37 receptions.
So what do you think to this? I mean, if I could, maybe the magic power of AI will help me with this one day. But like, if I could go back and figure out, like, on average, like, even just say, like, make it just good quarterbacks, right? But like,
oh my god,
when quarterbacks come back in after being out, like after being out a week for whatever reason, right? Yeah. Like, I'll even say, like, even outside of concussion, right, which is not a great one, right? Like, outside of that, their first game back, what's the average production of their wide receiver one? Yeah, I would just think on average it probably takes a pretty decent hit because the offense just looks a little bit weird and has to get back into sync. It's one of those slow first entire halves, right?
Where since week 6, I added one more week to it. He was wide receiver 4. He's been wide receiver 4 for 6 weeks with Dart and or Winston.
Oh man. In your lineup, can you really bench JJ for Wandale?
It's so hard. Yeah, but we got to get. I need to stop in my own head thinking that this is week 1. We are now in week 13. Things have to change. I'm not saying that it's not the talent. JSN is a must start. It's a very bold call, but I would actually be almost willing to do it. And it's nothing against JJ. It's all for the quarterback.
How do you have Judkins, no way. JJ? Like, is that a thing for you guys? Just outside of JJ, Judkins. Like, if it was down to like let's get Wandale in there.
It's just still my point. There's only 2 wide receiver slots. So in this case.
I mean,
I'm playing Junkins.
Actually, Mike, I do have a question for you. So the New York Giants are the first team technically eliminated from the playoffs. They're 2-10. They're 0-7 on the road.
Agreed. Yeah.
So this Giants team at this point,
they got nothing.
No. Let me finish my question. What is Mike Kafka going to do at this point with this entire team? Is he going to start sending out these backups to see what they can do, or is he just going to full send it with just his starters just hope for the best?
No, he's trying to get a good resume at this point. You have to remember, Mike Kafka. being the resident Giant fan, I have been watching this team for years. The fact that if you ask anybody that's a Giants fan, well, outside of a Giants fan, for the last 2 years, who is ROC, no one would be able to tell you who that person was. They would tell you either Daboll, and that's it. No one knew anybody else but Daboll because of Coach of the Year, the whole deal. Even on Hard Knocks, he is not even brought into the conversation of when we were taking the draft with Neighbors. He wasn't even in the room when Neighbors was being interviewed. He wasn't even in the room from what I saw and wasn't asking questions. So when I saw all these different things, I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, Kafka's the only guy that hasn't been touched. There's a reason. He's a decent coach. He has a good lineage from Andy Reid. He has a very good, he has all these really good references from where he was. I think the guy knows what he's doing, and he's looking to get a head coaching job next season. So I think he's going to put his best foot forward.
So the other thing I'll ask you, too, is that the defenses that Mike Vrabel rolls out there are no joke. He doesn't exactly have the secondary talent that he wants, but why wouldn't they game plan for Wan'Dale Robinson, being that he's like their only good offensive weapon at this point?
No, I understand, and you're not wrong. But the thing is I still think he can beat whatever they're going to try to duel out. And on top of that, I think that they have to game plan more for Dart than they do for Wan'Dale, because Dart is a completely different person comparatively to Winston. And in that case, you're planning. Winston is more of a guy that of all trades, as he likes to say. He can catch it, he can run it, he can do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, Dart is more of a downhill runner. Now, will he stop doing that now that he is back? Probably. And I don't see his production going too high. I don't think his floor is as high as people think it might be with his rushing upside. I think at this point, you pretty much have to curb what's going to happen with him. But I do think Wan'Dale has a big role to play in this offense moving forward. It's a primetime game. That's another part of this that is a big thing that people have to understand. I almost forgot about this game being a primetime game. And that's the whole
Monday night, baby.
It's on the big stage on a holiday weekend. They're going to need to involve people a little bit more. He's, like I said, he's been wide receiver four for the last 6 weeks. I can't ignore something like that. I ignored it last week and I lost. I'll put it to you that way. Ooh. I sat him for Ricky Purcell because I thought Purcell had an opportunity to do well against Carolina. And I
could have told you to start him against Detroit's weak secondary. Right, Kendall? Same. Detroit secondary.
I mean,
horrible.
Wan'Dale won me.
Anyway.
Last week, dude.
But my whole point is that in this case, I am not doing that again. Now, granted, if you want to look at how the world works, that I'm playing him this week means he's going to suck this week. You can go off that all you want. But I don't trust Bosmer at all. I do not think he's anything that's going to make this offense better. I think that it's going to be a very run the ball type game. It's going to be Madison. Mason and Jones. I do not think that it's going to be a heavy JJ game. I can see maybe 8 targets, 5 catches, 40, 50 yards. I don't see it being anything more than that. He's still going to be his floor is higher than most, but I like Wan'Dale and what he's been doing the last few weeks. It's just hard not to play him in those, in that type of situation. But I understand the reasoning because I would feel the same way if I had this. But you can't sit anyone else on this team at all. I'm not playing Mbuka over Jetta. I'm not playing Mbuka over Wan'Dale. I think I would be playing Wan'Dale over Jetta, and that's just my own opinion. And then playing Jetta over Junkins, I just can't do. I can't against San Francisco, but San Francisco's been playing a lot better. If you want to take that route, I would maybe do that or switch out Junkins for Bucky. That's just yeah.
Pick.
All right, Alex, you've got
you like best there.
Huh?
So Alex, you've got a bunch of conflicting opinions there. Take that away with what you will, and we wish you the best of luck this weekend.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but you're 9-3. You've been doing well. I trust your gut. You've been doing well this far. Steven Pereira, what's going on, man? Great to have you here. He goes, I need 3 in half PPR. We got you. Buck, Tet, Michael Wilson, Wan'Dale, or Troy Franklin? I like this question.
I'm going to go, if Bucky plays, I'm going to go Bucky, Michael, and Wan'Dale. But if Bucky doesn't play, give me Tet, Michael, and Wan'Dale.
Interesting. What about you there, Kendall?
I'm Tet, Wan'Dale, and I'm gonna stay in the Flames with Mike Wilson over Bucky. I'm gonna avoid a little bit of risk there. I certainly don't think Bucky has like a capped ceiling. I just gave a take that I think he's gonna play more than we think. But I'm gonna go like range of outcomes. I think I'm betting there's enough range of outcomes where he's a little bit disappointing compared to what I think is much more. I mean, I was off of Michael Wilson kind of repeating, but I want to be very quick to say, hey, 2 in a row does mean something to me in a league that things can change week to week very big. It's more shocking when it's consistent than when it's not. And when you see it, I want to give that some additional credit. So I'm going to stay in the Flames with Michael Wilson over Bucky. Less of an anti-Bucky take, more of Michael Wilson's closer to like the Wan'Dale tier to me than I would have given him credit for. So I'm going to stay there.
Interesting.
What about you, Mike?
I'm going to throw a monkey in the works here. I'm going to be going Michael Wilson, Wan'Dale, and Troy Franklin.
Why Troy Franklin?
Really love what Troy Franklin's been doing, averaging at least 10 targets a game with Bo Nix the last few weeks. Looking more like the wide receiver one, even though he's not, but I think it's more because of coverages and teams wanting to cover Sutton, who is a very strong receiver. But he doesn't have the versatility that someone like Troy Franklin has. Troy Franklin is a little bit smaller, a little bit more shifty, able to get off the line a little quicker. They're going against Washington. They are 26th against the pass. I love the matchup. I already gave you my stuff on Wan'Dale. Michael Wilson, as Kendall said, I think he can repeat this week. I think he can do really well and continue on what he's doing, even with Marvin Harrison back. Tet, I'm not going to play against the Rams. It's just not going to happen. The narrative, maybe, they're going to be down. They're going to have to throw. Sure, you want to go on that route? Enjoy, but it's half PPR. I don't care in that matchup. It's going to keep everything is kind of lower. 45-point total, 10-point favored by, the Rams. I'm just not on board. And then Bucky on top of that going against Arizona, first game back. He's also said that he's had some, issues with trying to get back on the field and finally, able to. They're still listing as questionable. I feel a lot comfortable playing guys that I know that have been doing well. Wilson, Wan'Dale, and Franklin have been doing that way. The only caveat to this, Wan'Dale is technically considered questionable. They do have a practice tomorrow, but I would assume he's going to play based on the fact that he's been limited all week. So that's why I didn't bring him up in the first place. So that's my only caveat, because if he's out, then it kind of screws you up on what you have to do. But I'm going to stick with Wilson, Wan'Dale, and Troy.
I actually have a question for the both of you here. Can Steven really go wrong with any of these 5 guys, assuming Bucky plays?
No. I mean, definitely not. Like these are good spots. Like I agree with the pro Troy Franklin take. Like I do like what I am seeing.
Last 5 weeks, he's averaging 9
in half PPR. I want a guy that has a fairly elevated chance. He's starting to become a little like a little Calvin Ridley-esque, where he just had a nose for the red zone. Nix clearly likes locking onto him, similar to a Caleb Rome in the end zone. So I think in half PPR, I want a guy that can go bigger, right? And that's certainly there. None of these are bad options. I know I included Tet. Tet kind of scares me for like the biggest downside, but these are all really aggressively good options. I'm feeling pretty good about your week.
Last 5 weeks, Troy Franklin, wide receiver 18. Michael Wilson, number 15 in full PPR.
Steven mentioned that he needs upside, and honestly, I don't know if upside really. Yeah, so we would say just go based off of matchup where Tetaroa is probably not qualifying as upside this week.
He's a floor pick.
Yeah, just what we said earlier, based off of our recommendations going against Tetaroa, that's probably your only downside, really.
Yeah, I honestly think that Troy has the biggest upside of all of this, just based on the matchup that he has. And
Ted needs 2 touchdowns to really give you upside.
that's
That
kind
kind
of
of
the point
sucks,
I'm
but like
making.
I don't see many outcomes where he has like 80+ yards. I think you're right. Like the Rams D would have to have one of their worst defensive performances out of absolutely fucking nowhere, right?
Nowhere.
Like,
Yeah.
so if that happens, I look at it as an act of God. Like it
Yeah.
just, that wasn't supposed to have happened. So I do agree with you guys. If you're looking pure upside, that those are the directions that it would go.
And normally in half PPR, I would lean you more towards the running back. I'm just not there yet, and especially with the him being ramped back up, I don't see him getting 70% of the carries running in. That's just not going to happen. He's going to be getting 30% to 40%, and that's even if you're happy. You know, that's on a good day. I don't want to take that going in for his first game back. I have no problem with it after the fact. But in this case, I like Michael Wilson, who's been doing well. Wan'Dale I've already talked about, and Troy Franklin. The last 5 weeks, he's averaged at least 9 targets per game, and he's been averaging, what is that, 4? So what is that, 2.5 touchdowns per game, or 2.5 touchdowns? That's I like it. Or you have to curve it to 1.5, but it's not a bad matchup for him, and I think he has a ton of ceiling against a really good matchup for him. So that's just my opinion. Awesome.
Wishing you the best, Steven.
Yes.
How about Lucius?
What's going on, Lucius? How you doing, brother? He goes, I need to start 2, 1 wide receiver and 1 flex. Perfect. Half PPR. Options are Junkins, Shakir, Sutton, Wan'Dale. Thanks in advance. Wow. A lot of Wan'Dale. I like it.
So these are all, well, except for Judkins, these are all wide receivers. I think Judkins is a perfectly fine play if you're looking for volume, but not necessarily efficiency, because the Browns are an awful offense. Shakir, I don't necessarily look at as a must start. So it sounds to me like for in a half PPR league, you could go Sutton and Wan'Dale and be okay, because Sutton is not out of this offense just because Troy Franklin is building chemistry with Bo Nix. I know a lot of people are scared about this Denver Bronco offense because it's a mess, but when you're going up against a defeated, weakened Washington Commanders secondary, I'm fine with starting Broncos wide receivers.
I agree. I can't start Junkins. I'm too nervous about the concept of what San Francisco does. Beyond them being a little beat up, beyond them losing big guys like, Bosa and Warner, they are playing at an elite level, and they are still very good. They also have probably one of the best defensive coordinators in the league with Robert Saleh. I will give him the credit that credit is due. He is a very good coordinator and knows what he's doing. And in this particular case, they're going against a rookie. If I am Robert Saleh, I am stuffing the box with 8, and I'm praying that Shador, beat me. You're going to have to beat me with your arm, which I don't think he has. So that's
what she said.
Nice. But yeah, I'm all on board for Sutton and Wan'Dale. It's hard for me to lobby to play Shakir. I'd like him as a player, but unfortunately with the offensive line that's currently being destroyed by the Bills, who are losing their left tackle and right tackle, it is going to be a rough day for them. So I'm going to stay away from that if possible. So I'm going to go with Wan'Dale and Sutton there.
Man, that's tough. I'm gonna go with a philosophy play. I'm gonna go Judkins just because in half PPR, I just sometimes have to go with it. It's not a great matchup.
That was my other point is half PPR. I normally tell you to play the running back.
Look, I think there's enough range of outcomes where Judkins sees 2-3 targets for 20 yards, and the chance he falls in the end zone are decent. Better than an ambiguous wide receiver room wide receiver, where I think at most, right, like Wan'Dale, love him on yardage. I think on average he scores a touchdown more like 45% of the time. If you're being like spicy. Judkins, it's got to be more like 50% because of just how that offense works. They're direct snapping him the ball in the red zone, right? Like you have to give him credit for like literally Shador's unstartable because if they get within the 20, they direct snap to Judkins. The chances that Judkins throws a touchdown is definitely non-zero with what they're doing in the red zone, right? So by those reasons, I'm going to give the Judkins the like, you know what? Half PPR, sometimes you got to scrape by, and he's going to do like a Breece Hall, like, I'm really good in a bad team, and I'm probably going to find a way to get it fucking done like we usually do.
Wandale is doing that with one touchdown.
Right. Well, Wandale's my other in easy, right?
You know what I mean?
Like, Wandale's my easy in, right? I'm saying after that, like Wandale's just consistency plus upside.
Oh, no, I was just saying on the concept
I got to go Judge.
All the things you talked about, he's been doing it with one touchdown. Think of that. Wide receiver 4, 1 touchdown in the last 6 weeks. Insane. Sorry.
I'd also like to point out that the San Francisco 49ers defense are giving up an average of 19.6 half PPR points to running backs, which is not nothing. It's mid. It's not great. It's not bad either. And that's another reason I don't necessarily want to put Judkins in over Sutton and Wandale. But it's like what Kendall was just saying. There's a non-zero chance that Quinshon Judkins doesn't like take a direct snap and then toss it to somebody like Harold Fannin, for example.
Agreed.
I don't know if their bag of tricks is going to allow them to do that to even get in the red zone against the beat up 49ers defense, but I don't think I want to trust that if you can avoid it.
49ers depth at defense is actually better than most teams' starters. Winters is incredibly better. Like, he is so good that they've been waiting. Well, I wouldn't say waiting, but he's been kind of waiting for an opportunity, and this is his, opportunity with Fred out. And he's been doing real well. And their defensive line is actually one of the better lines in the league, even without Bosa.
Winters is so good.
He's really good. So, good luck to you there, Lucius. Hopefully, that helped you get through it. Church is asking us Baker or Brissett.
Baker.
I think I'm going to go Baker as well because I think we have yet to see Jacoby Brissett throw more than 2 touchdowns in a game, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, he has yet to do that. Really? Against a weak Tampa Bay defense, I could see it, but they just don't have enough good weapons to make it happen.
He threw 2 in 9, 10, 11.
I said more than 2.
He's been real consistent
but
throwing
still.
2. He's been like he's all 2s. He's like 222 for 2.
And he's been throwing over 200 and he's been throwing for over 250 and 2 touchdowns for
which is fine. Which is fine, but Baker Mayfield has the capability of throwing 3 with better weapons and against a secondary in Arizona that's really just it's not horrible, but it's also nothing to write home about.
Yeah, but
Baker
not that
low-key
good
rushes
either.
for 2-3 points a game on average as well. There's no way I can't go to sleep at night saying like I benched Baker Mayfield for Jacoby Brissett because when Jacoby Brissett has he threw for 240 and 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and you're like, I sat Baker Mayfield for an NFL backup quarterback because he had a few good games. Like, I feel in the grand scheme of things, when that goes wrong, I don't want to be that guy, right? When Jacoby Brissett scores 2 fantasy points more than Baker, and I'm like, dude, I could have been a really smart analyst, I'm going to take that loss way over. I sat Baker for Jacoby Brissett, and I have to explain myself. I can't. I won't do it.
Well, I'll do it. Brissett. And I'm only saying it because of the health. I'm scared to death. If he were to get knocked on the wrong way, lands on it the wrong way, something happens the wrong way.
Well, you bring up a good point there. I'll actually admit,
I'm sorry.
If I just had some big performances, if I had Jameson Williams, and I'm kind of sitting pretty and I just need to avoid disaster, I could agree where you could say, hey, Jacoby's been playing real consistent. I just need to avoid an injury out, a 4.5 point game. I will concede that if you're favored by 15 or something, that's where I would consider safety.
Question. I'm going to ask this question. We have the 2 quarterbacks last 6 weeks. Okay? Last 6 weeks for both of them. Which one do you think is currently higher in ranking?
Don't care.
Or after the fact?
I don't care.
Stats-wise.
I mean, I think Brissett's clearly been playing.
Brissett is QB5 since week 6.
Yeah, but see, look at the take, right? When you say, "Hey, Jacoby Brissett's QB5 since then," you got to be like,
Baker,
"Yeah, but
guess
I've
where
watched
Baker
the NFL.
lands though.
I don't know,
Where do you think Baker is? He's quarterback 19 in the last 6 weeks.
Don't care.
Okay.
It's a plus matchup, and
more.
it's a plus matchup, and I don't like using statistics over the last X amount of weeks because that can just go boom and break at a moment's notice.
I think there's a difference between, like, there's also small sample, yes, but I'm one that I can make a big take based on like a 1 week change, but because I've been watching and I saw something particular, right? I'm saying I've seen Baker play in those games, and I think for the most part, they were a little more on the fluky side, not the Baker's bad side. There was always something going on. The entire offense hasn't been functional for a while. Just getting Bucky back. Godwin is, look, he's not only back, but he's more back than he was. Tez didn't fade away and is actually kind of a thing, right? And even just Bucky on the field for 25 extra snaps, it's got to help the team a little bit. Being able to have Sean Tucker when Bucky's not on the field, that feels pretty good because you feel better about him as a backup than what Rashad White was doing for multiple weeks, honestly, in terms of his usability. I think the overall offense, what would you project the overall Bucks offense does? Outside of injury, if injury is totally faded, I think they're okay.
I'm looking at his stats and for the last few weeks, and it's scary. He's either going for 350 and 3, or he's going for 160 and 1 and 2 interceptions. Like, he has not been the consistency that Brissett has been, and with lesser weapons. I understand you guys might not follow the statistics from that far back. I gave it all the way to week 6, and he's far and beyond what Baker is, even with that, and before he was even injured.
That's misleading because teams are not the same as they were in week 13 as they were in week 6. There are so many variables that change with that. The Cardinals offense did a really good job shifting their skill weapons and offensive play calling to Jacoby's skill set, which is better than Kyler Murray. But their best target is Trey McBride, and Michael Wilson is overachieving right now. But Tampa Bay is the better offense, and that's what I like to bank on. And there's a reason Jacoby's been a backup for most of his career because he's not better than Baker. Even though this Tampa Bay offensive line is struggling and the new pass catchers are also building some chemistry with Baker, I understand why you'd be scared of that volatility. But against a bad Cardinal defense, give me Baker over Jacoby, and I don't want to change that.
Mike, I'm going to waffle a little bit here, actually. Only because I do see a narrative that I wasn't really seeing as likely before.
Right.
And that it's not, I'm still pretty high on Baker, to be honest.
No,
I do think with a healthier run game, I'm just looking at the passing attempts, and I don't like that Baker's had super capped attempts. I think he can do a lot with a little, but I do think they're clearly going to lean more on the
187 compared to Brissett, who's going 261.
Well, Brissett's not just doing an average amount. I don't know why no one's talking about this. At least people I'm on the following. He's got
Cardinals
44, 50.
He's currently first
attempts.
He's currently first in yardage in the last 6 weeks. Like,
the Cardinals have been playing from so far behind in several weeks, and their running backs suck so bad they have to throw, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's good.
My point, though.
Yeah, the running backs aren't healthy though. That's just it. Like literally none of them are healthy. We were doing do you start Michael Carter? Brissett's playing good enough, I guess, that as a team, I guess you're like, would I bet that Jacoby Brissett just throws the ball 45 times and doesn't suck and probably gets 2 touchdowns out of that?
You'll probably have to.
I mean, that's just it. He's gonna have to. Like, if you told me Bucky Irving rushed for 6 yards a carry, but they only gave him 12 carries and he caught 2 passes, so he was capped. And then Sean Tucker also toted the rock 15 times and just did a bunch and just was very efficient, and they had to throw the other direction. I mean, that's 3-game sample where 44 is the lowest he's thrown, and he's not been amazing on it. I just think he's been good enough on near 50 attempts on average. I don't think Baker, especially when injured on a team that probably knows they're not going to
throw that much.
They're a smart enough team to play for the playoffs and probably say, "Do whatever we got to do, Baker. We need to get him off the fucking field."
Yeah,
straight up, handing the ball off and then get out of the way because we're a playoff team. Because I'm thinking more like what, like the Bucks really even care?
No, you're
if they're
100%.
competitive without without them doing too much. They're not going to want to risk a lot of sacks. They're not going to do a lot of deep ADOT stuff because what if he takes a big hit that kills him? Yeah, I'm gonna waffle.
They're either going to run the ball a ton, or they're going to not give Baker the opportunity to get hurt, like you said, and that leads to Brissett, who has been averaging like 40 attempts a game and throwing for over 250 at average, and two touchdowns in every game except
I got
one.
A waffle here.
I'm telling you, it feels wrong. It's kind of like the Wan'Dale JJ conversation, a little bit different, but in the same concept. It's the same. It's quarterbacks in different tiers. In real life, Baker is a top 2 tier. He is a very good. He's a very good real life quarterback. In this particular case, it makes it where I am at the point where he's saying it right now. Church is saying I'm in a must win.
That doesn't change a ton for me though in a must win.
Not a ton. Change me
like it's one of those I'm always
playing
I mean. For game theory optimal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
if Bucky Irving plays, that's going to change a lot for that Buccaneers offense, though.
Yeah, but I still think it hurts Baker more than it helps him.
All right, fair enough.
Because I think they're going to just lean on the run game like the
Bears did today.
Kind of like, well, that's what they normally do. But that's the whole point.
It's a copycat league, right? They're going to see what the Bears did and be like, dude, that's
the offense. From
right
what
there.
we can see from the Cardinals offense, they have been consistent with the pass. They have been facing teams, even against Seattle. He had a good day. He had 50 passing attempts. 44 passing attempts, 258 yards, 2 touchdowns against a very difficult division opponent.
And he also lost 2 fumbles.
Dude, low key, why couldn't they have a Swift and Mononga? Like, why couldn't Bucky actually just low key house one time, and then Sean Tucker also break off a 40 and a 30, and actually they just beat the crap out of him because their running backs are pretty good.
And then if you look at it against San Francisco, another division opponent, he threw for 57 times and did 452 yards. So the whole point. Sure, enjoy. But at the end of the day, those 2 picks don't mean anything when you're throwing for 400 and something yards.
Evan,
my point is, he's never going to do that every day.
I didn't want to change.
I didn't want to, but I'm so glad this is happening.
I'm upset with how excited Mike is that I came over to the dark side in the end.
This makes me so happy.
Well, I'm going to stick with my Baker over Brissett take, but Church Boy Reg, either way, we wish you the best.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
I thank you.
No, it's a great question. I'm glad.
It is.
It's fun to go through those mental exercises in a way that live streaming brings you. I got to be honest.
Right.
I set way better lineups after this, and the rankings always change after thinking through it.
Oh, yeah,
I blame Pierce.
I always adjust my rankings after I talk about stuff, and I actually have I have Brissett at 11, and I have Baker at 23. So it's Raven. What's going on, man? He goes full PPR. He needs to flex one. T-Mac and Buka, BTJ, who's coming back, or Scary Terry. So 2 guys coming back.
Scariest, most talented wide receivers in the NFL. It feels like
this is the worst.
This feels like an absolute segment.
Horrible. He says, I don't like Bryce Young. Baker maybe playing. T-Law stinks, and Terry on a snap count most likely.
Yeah, that's the take. That's my exact take. He just gave
so
everyone my take.
I don't agree with any of that. I'm gonna go with Buka and Scary Terry here.
We only got flex one.
Only flex one.
Oh, I'm sorry, just one. Let's go with Buka here.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing the Egbuka as well. I don't care who the quarterback is. I just think Egbuka's nice enough that even if Baker got hurt, Egbuka's still nice. T-Mac scares scares me. BTJ and his quarterback scare me.
I kind of want BTJ.
Despite I think he might have the most.
I kind of like it though. I kind of like it. I like BTJ just a smidge.
I like BTJ over T-Mac. If that's crazy, I
do too.
It's an AFC division rival game, and those get weird more often than not.
They do. I know. That's the weird thing. A lot of these games, I try to avoid them when I can, but I know that I have 2 games that we can't. Titans suck.
You know what I want to know, though, in the Jacksonville offense? Does Jacoby Myers take away targets from Brian Thomas Jr.?
He might, and that's my only. You're not you're not wrong there. And Buka, I'm a little nervous about because there's been whispers of good old Mike Evans coming back in the next week or two. Not this game, but in the next couple of days. Or weeks.
I think Jacoby's good for BTJ, to be honest. I think
they help each other, if anything.
I think specifically from a scheme standpoint, I think he helps him in that. Just doing like just playing cover 2 and playing and having these extra safeties going on. I don't see like I think Jacoby means you kind of need to play a little bit more man. You actually need to account for him in the middle of the field. It makes your pass rush a little less good because he's such a good early option. He's savvy. I think it allows BTJ potentially a little less double cover. And yeah, but again, I think Evan said it earlier. I think he's going to get a lot of targets that are really uncatchable.
Oh, I agree. It's going to be gross. I think all of those options are gross, but who's the safer option out of that? It's hard.
I'd rather just go with Buka and just set it and forget it. That's
Buka
assuming.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, you got me to waffle a little bit. It's tough though. That's a really tough one. So he goes quarterback. Hold on. Quarterback is Dak. Running back is Gibbs. Brown, who already played CD and Nico. Tight end is Bowers. Flex.
That's the flex. Okay.
Oh, that's flex. Oh, okay.
I like looping 49ers defense though, because that's pretty solid for kicker and defense.
I love it.
I do like that a lot. I think it's pretty sad. 49ers is easily picked up too.
So you have a decent. You are currently pretty well off. You need a good solid floor. I'm going.
Gibbs hurt you. Brown crushed it hard for you though. So CD crushed it hard.
And Buka's just a safe option. It's more safe than the others.
Yeah. Even if the targets are not necessarily catchable, he will get them, and you want to bank on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because volume is king.
Agreed, 100%.
Ricardo,
what's going on, Ricardo? He goes, "Hey guys, who do I flex, Gatson or Neal?" It's gonna be Neal.
Yeah, it's Devin Neal, baby. Devin Neal's gonna have 8 targets.
Yeah, at least, and it's just more guaranteed for the touch that you're getting.
Devin Neal's gonna look like a slightly worse Kamara, dude. Like he was literally compared as like basically he's like he's gonna be fantastic.
I love it. I love that comparison. We got Country Boy Jazz. What's going on, man? Great to have you here today. For those that are new to the show, please make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to the show. Also, check out our Discord. We have our Discord in the description for you guys. You can ask these questions and more. We're always in there and answering your questions. But, of course, we always love when you guys come on the show. We got 12-man full PPR. Start 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex. So we're picking this guy's team for him. Let's start with the QB. Purdy or Mahomes? You already started one of these two. So
I hope decision's already been made there.
Yeah, so we're not going to make that decision for you on QB.
So Country Boy Jazz, I got to say this like I say to everybody. If you're still holding 2 quarterbacks in a 1 quarterback league, just drop one of them because I'm assuming your trade deadline has already passed at this point. You don't need to hold 2 quarterbacks in a 1 quarterback league. Just pick one and stick with it. I'd pick Mahomes over Purdy rest of season, but that's just me. So I don't know who you started this week, but I hope they helped you out a lot.
Yeah, there's always a high upside stash. I pleaded with everyone that Devin Neal was worth dropping players for. I said drop Tez Johnson, pick up a Devin Neal. What is that doing for you right now? It was a low percentage chance, but like I didn't call it because I'm an oracle. I call it because it happens all the time, every single year. Sometimes we don't get a player right, but the situation occurs all the time. Yeah, play for some additional upside.
So running back, we have CMC, Jones, Walker, Tucker, Benson, Rodriguez. So we can kick out Benson. We can kick out who am I thinking about with Jones?
Aaron Jones, Packers.
Aaron Jones. I never.
So I mean that game's already that game already happened, though. So
no, Jones didn't play it. I'm going to be going CMC, lock, and Walker.
I think I'd go Walker over both Jones and Rodriguez. Benson's not playing, and Tucker is basically an RB3 with potential upside at this point. So yeah, I think you got to go CMC and Aaron Jones.
Okay. And then we have wide receiver being Olave, Diggs, Pierce, Jennings, Burden, or Terry or Godwin. Hopefully you didn't play. Well, I don't know if you played Burden or not. If you did, okay. But we're gonna have to pick out of this.
Olave's got to be the first one.
Yeah, Olave's kind of a lock for me.
And I'm gonna go Diggs here too.
Yeah, I'm Diggs. Pierce is close. Wow, that's actually.
But then we gotta go into the flex option too. So
I'm going Diggs over Pierce. Yeah,
I'm going Diggs over Pierce. I like Olave and Diggs. I might. Would I throw? No, Pierce is going against Houston. I'm not doing that.
I am going. Pierce is getting in my flex though. I guess. Yeah.
Well, that was my point. Then you're going either Walker. You're either going Walker, Pierce, Tucker, Rodriguez, Pierce, Jennings, or Terry.
PPR, I'm just taking the wide receiver. So, yeah,
I'd probably go Walker, but I don't like it, and I just don't trust the other guys.
If Terry McLaurin plays, I would flex him.
No, he's playing
hard. Yeah, I would flex Scary Terry over everybody else because
Patrick coming back.
Patrick
Surtain.
Patrick Surtain? Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Because Mariota's got to throw to somebody.
Surtain's going to lock him down, though.
Yeah, he'll play against Terry most of the time anyway. But I mean, he's got to find a way to get open, and he's going to get the most in volume with targets. Jennings is not a guy I want to play against a tough Cleveland secondary. Pierce is too much of a risk, and Luther Burden already played. Godwin is being slowly integrated in the offense, too risky for me.
That's why I'd rather go with Walker, who knows what he's. I think Walker has the.
You're just going to go with the extra running back there?
No. Why? I wouldn't risk it.
So does Charbonnet not worry you in case it ends up being a Charbonnet game?
No. Comparatively to Terry, with getting you a 0, yes. Terry,
I don't think he's not getting a 0. Terry, if he plays,
they're both coming off injury at the very least. Patrick Surtain can shut down Terry, and their defense can shut down Daniels. I am staying away from any of the Commanders other than Rodriguez, and it's really the only time I would play Rodriguez is in a 12 or 14 team that I need. Like,
dude, I'm just not playing in PPR. Like in PPR,
that's my point.
It's so hard for me not to. It's so hard for me not to be like. I would rather close my eyes and be like,
only guy
Terry, I don't want to play, but I would still take Terry over.
And Walker doesn't get targets, so I have no reason to play Walker over guys who are going to get targets. It's a PPR league.
I think he had 5 last week.
Walker does
get more involved. He's been getting more involved in the pass game. They've increased his passing, and he had more of the snap share, I think, last week.
Well, he had 4 targets, and he got some decent volume out of it. But against the Tennessee Titans, it's like, of course he's going to get somewhere. But
62%. He went higher.
It's just you got a guy like a Ken Walker who will then all of a sudden just won't have the hot hand with Charbonnet. I don't trust it at this point, but I'll just stick to that.
No, it's fair. I mean, believe me, I sat Walker in many spots in my leagues, and I have Walker everywhere. But in this grouping of players, I'm playing Walker. Like I'm not playing Terry in this matchup. I'm not playing Burden. I'm not playing any of these guys. So,
did we already pick tight end?
No, tight end would be Barner, Auden, or Waller. And
Waller's not coming back yet. I'm gonna go.
Well,
I think Waller's actually
playing. Waller's
playing this week.
Labeled as questionable and is on the.
The idea is he's expected to play though.
They have to activate him as of tomorrow. They
how much he plays might be 3 snaps.
They didn't activate him yet.
Being that he hasn't, I don't want to pick Waller at this time anyway. But even if he does play, I still don't want to play him against New Orleans Saints. I don't think he's going to be strong coming back yet. Sure, he's a fine red zone option, but the Dolphins suck. Yeah, and I'd rather go with a safer option. Yeah, I don't know if I drop him.
Well, you couldn't keep him on IR, is what I'm saying.
Barner.
You already have Barner and Otten, so I
like Barner.
I would keep all 3 of those tight ends, and then you also don't need to stash 2 defenses. You can definitely drop one of them.
I would keep Waller over one of the other. Well, definitely over one of the defenses, but definitely over the other.
Drop the Packers defense and definitely fire up the Rams.
Yeah. Man, I think I'm going to stay with Otten as much as I love Barner, man. I don't know.
I don't know if you can go wrong with Barner or Otten because Otten will get the volume.
Yeah, I like Barner.
Oh, man. I want to pick Barner because I own so much of him in Dynasty, and I liked him when no one knew about him, and now they legitimately give him carries every now and again. Like the chances he can actually rush one in from time to time.
He didn't play Burden, and he started Mahomes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I would go.
Great calls.
I would go ahead and drop Purdy as well because I mean you're probably going to fire up Mahomes rest of the season anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Man, you know what? I don't think Otton's gonna. I think the chance Barner has like a random game because some teams are just like, all right, seriously, we're done. We're gonna triple JSN. We're gonna quadruple, and Barner is gonna have one of those random 7 target games. Like,
oh yeah,
those are still
that's why
randomly there for him.
He's so hard to play, but he
can randomly have a 7 target game for 70 yards. He can also have a 2 catch, 2 touchdown game. He's a weird dude. I'm actually gonna go Barner for like. Otton's just so mad, and Barner's going to have 2 or 20, but he might have something.
And if Baker has to play in one way or another, like I understand we can't predict injury, but
I'm leaning into that. Like I think the RBs for Tampa are actually kind of good, and that running game is going to be a bigger chunk of the yardage than the passing, and I think Otton suffers.
Jimbo,
what's up, Jimbo Fisher? How you doing, man? He goes, hey fellas. If Kincaid does not play, are you starting Strange, Ertz, Kobe Parkinson, or Barner? Hey man, if I was Howard Bender, I'd be telling you Kobe Parkinson. He has been speaking his name from the rooftops for the last few weeks. I'm gonna tell you Strange.
I'm going Strange too. I feel like Strange is the only thing that like is kind of consistent in that jacked
and leading
up
their
offense.
team in leading their team in yardage.
So I don't think it's strange to be firing up Brenton Strange. Go right ahead and pick him over the rest of those tight ends.
Had me on that one.
I like it. I like it. So we got Hashhead. What's going on, man? He goes start one wide receiver, 1 flex out of Olave. I'm obviously picking him if he plays due to the matchup and the target share this week. Breece Hall, also have him penciled in at flex. Debo, Pittman, full PPR.
Oh, it's definitely.
I can't argue all of that. So all of it.
Yeah, no, I just
agree.
Yeah, I like Pittman in general, but the Daniel Jones injury, the Chiefs having an above average defense when it comes to taking away the main thing that you do, it's just a stylistic thing. Breece Hall, it just has more ways to win. I think it's close between him and Pittman, to be honest, but I'm gonna go Breece Hall.
Okay, so if Olave's out, who are you picking from Debo and Pittman?
Not even close. Debo is not really a huge flex that I'm looking to play this week with Terry back.
So it's Pittman.
Yeah.
Versus Houston.
No.
Wrong
week. No, it's still Pittman with the red zone upside. Even though like the overall offense will struggle, like I think Pittman has a much higher chance to get in the end zone than Debo.
Oh, he has Harrison Jr., but I wouldn't count him in this.
He's probably not going to play.
No,
well, even if he does, I'm not including him in that.
Yeah.
He says his side note is I'm projected for 150 versus 110 without a kicker in my lineup, and I'm borderline debating not playing one because if I do, I need to drop somebody. He said I had AJ Brown, Henry, Chase Brown, and Gibbs already helped me out. Too bad Jameson was on the bench. And yes, it's an 8-team work league. Hey,
okay.
All leagues are good leagues, man.
Yeah,
it's always fun.
Your team is gonna be so stacked, though. You definitely just run out the kicker. Like the chances that sometimes bites you in the butt
always run that. Like, unless your team
you're dropping someone you should be keeping, but it's 8-team. There's RJ Harvey's on waivers in that league.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And unless your league does minus points for missed field goals, then you're fine. Just
good
play him out. You're good.
Yeah, as long as it's not against your league rules, you can go without the kicker. But yeah, obviously fire up Olave, and then honestly, like Breece is somebody I love to play, but being that he's going to be facing a really weird Falcon team, I think the Jets are going to be playing from behind, and that Breece is not going to get enough volume with Tyrod Taylor stinking up the joint out there. So I think Breece has to ride the bench. Debo is not a guy I'm scared of, being that the Denver secondary is still good, and he's a red zone option, but also this Washington team is kind of a disaster as well, and they're playing at home. Even then, that doesn't change what I have to say. But Houston's secondary scares me more, which is why I'd rather play Debo over Pittman.
Yeah, I would probably. I mean, if I'm
gonna go Debo here.
Olave, yeah, if I'm gonna sit Olave, I'm playing Debo, but not by much.
Well, Olave's got to be in the wide receiver, and I'm gonna flex Debo.
Yeah, okay. Like if Olave gets like hurt in warmups, I get that. That's like it's a good mental exercise. Like if Olave catches a weird tweaked pass in warmups, like what the hell do I do? Because it sucks.
Well, that was my whole point. Like if I'm gonna pivot, it's gonna be to probably Debo and leave Hall in that equation. So I got Ike Weedman. What's going on?
Me too, Ike. Me too.
So Flowers failed him. I could have told you that. because I chose to start him over Troy Franklin. Oh no!
I mean, I get it, dude. The Bengals matchup was juicy.
Oh, it's so tough.
He had 7 targets, man. He killed me too.
Yeah. So now, do I start Tet or Troy? Also, the tight end. Do I start Fannin, Juwan Johnson, or Barner? I think it's obvious for all three of us. It's Juwan Johnson.
Yeah,
Franklin and Juwan Johnson. Bam, lock it in. Go get him, Mike.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Troy or Tet, dude.
It's so hard to do it, but I can't do it against the Rams. It's just
I can't do it against the Rams either. I love Tetaroa McMillan. But by the way, did you guys know that he hates being called Tet?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We always call him.
It's such a good nickname. How can he hate it?
It is what it is.
I would apologize to him if I ever had a chance to meet him. If he was legitimately bothered that a few analysts that you know what I mean, like call him that. That's a thing. A broadcaster shouldn't call him Ted, right? That's national TV. But we get to no, man. We're nerds in the basement over here. We get to do whatever the hell we want.
Yeah,
that's part of the gig. All right, there's not many perks, but that's one of them. All right,
that is one of the perks. But we will love to have him on and apologize.
Anyway. I would go on the apology tour for sure.
I would. So Frank Nunez, what's going on, man? Great to have you here. He goes, need a one running back. Judkins and Harvey Woody half PPR. It's Harvey.
Judkins.
I'm doing a Harvey.
I'm
going Harvey for sure. Harvey's an RB1 this week. I could not be more excited about the RB matchup. Oh my gosh.
Too. I'm so excited.
Calm me down.
So Frank also says, I have Burrow on IR. My QB is Goff and plays Dallas next week. Would you just keep Burrow on IR?
Thank you.
5-man bench, and I would have to drop someone to activate Burrow.
I get it. He's doing that,
but I'm doing it.
I get what you mean. I don't think it's unethical. To
not at all.
It's
not unethical.
No.
Yeah.
I think the question is more, does he drop Goff to play Burrow?
No,
and
dude.
then
Goff plays Dallas next week, but he doesn't have Amon-Ra anymore. I think that could be Amon-Ra's missing, I think, 2 weeks for sure. I'm a little bit nervous about Goff next week when they only have to take away J-Mo. I mean, that could be a rough game. Detroit doesn't have to have a good game in general next week. So no, I am definitely dropping someone if you have to.
If you have to, and you can probably drop Goff. And
if your lineup
would drop Goff.
If your lineup is already set, you don't have to do anything in the meantime. You can wait another week. But the one thing I will offer, the one nugget I will offer about Jared Goff is that he will be getting Frank Ragnow back under center. Frank Ragnow has been the huge difference maker on that Lions offensive line. Without him, the Jared Goff has been hit third most in the NFL. That's how much that Lions offensive line has struggled. 100%. So Goff should bounce back into top 10 quarterback status to end the season, but against Dallas, you can definitely play him. But after that, he's got the Rams, Steelers, and then the Minnesota Vikings, which these are not all terrible matchups, but if you got Joe Burrow, I'd happily play Burrow over Jared Goff any day of the week. So you can hold off this week if your lineup's already set, and then go ahead and drop Goff next week if you have to. But that's without seeing the rest of your team as well, Frank.
Burrow gets T back. He already looked good. Like, the offense is doing better. They just beat the Ravens. Like,
so much better.
They have the Ravens. They have Buffalo. They have the Ravens again. They have Miami.
The Ravens again is going to be a high-scoring matchup. The Buffalo's easily going to be like game of the week. Is going to be hyped up. We'll see what happens.
100%.
The chances Burrow's a top 3 quarterback rest of season is not unlikely. You know what I mean? Like, it's Burrow and the Flames, and do not feel bad about dropping Goff. Just get past it. You know,
and especially in a 1 QB, he's really just a streamer when needed, and you got what you needed while Burrow was out. So I'm all for it. Get your guy. So Raven goes, I got Dak and Herbert in a 1 QB league. Should I roll with Dak or drop Herbert, or vice versa?
Wow, I think Herbert's going to be the more valuable quarterback, but that's really close. That's a great question. I blame Pierce. This week I have Herbert at quarterback 7 and Dak Prescott at quarterback 9. He already played, but I would rather have Herbert than Dak rest of season, and that's really close.
Yeah, dude. Herbert does have a decent amount of little rushing upside here and there. It's not much, but like when these guys are so close, the extra 3+ points per game that Herbert's legitimately bringing with his legs it's not nothing. It's what made Drake May like good down the stretch last year, where it's like, dude, he keeps running for enough that when everybody just throws for 2 touchdowns and it's close, 2 points per game from your legs, that's 50 passing yards you don't have to throw for anymore. And that's a big deal, right? When touchdowns can be kind of sporadic in both of these offenses, right? Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but like I feel like Dak and the Cowboys are playing their best ball, and Dak's just good. It's still not amazing. It's still not league winning, right? The yardage was it was just about 260, I think, in 2 touchdowns. Still had the interception. Still makes mistakes. And Javonte is someone they want to lean on, and Kevontae Turpin with 3 rushes. Like they want to stay balanced. I love that offense and what they're doing, but it's not what Herbert has in terms of weapons and what they're doing on offense. And I think the chances that Herbert has 2 to 3 more red zone chances per game than Dak is enough for me to go Herbert rest of season, and painfully probably let go of Dak. It is what it is. Herbert's just too good with that offense, I think.
Dak's offensive line is better too.
I was going to
Herbert's
go with
offensive
the
line's
offense.
terrible. I know that's a
Horrible.
thing, but
and here's why I was going to aim Dak. He's got the Raiders coming up, which I know it doesn't seem scary, but without that left and right tackle, that's going to suck. He's got Philly and Kansas City in the next 3 weeks. He's got Dallas in week 16, and he's got Houston in week 17. If you're using him throughout all the way down to the end to the championship, you're having Justin Herbert going against the Houston Texans, arguably the best defense in the league currently, and one of the best pass rushes as well, against a bad defense or a bad offensive line in your championship weekend. You have Dak, you're facing Washington in your championship weekend, and you're facing Detroit, Minnesota, and the Chargers in that time frame. That's a better seasonal schedule for me. I would rather have Dak. I'm not thrilled. I think overall, Herbert's a better quarterback, but the schedule is better for Dak.
I'm trying not to waffle here, but like, okay.
Hey man, I'm a Herbert fan. I own him in many leagues. I love the guy.
Like Herbert's matchup this week is phenomenal, but like
it's really close between the two, though.
Oh, it's very close.
Philly, like what the Bears just did to Philly, makes me think the game plan is going to be a lot of Hampton and Vidal, right?
You would hope so, but Hampton isn't back yet, and you don't know when that's going to happen.
If it happens.
He's got another 2 weeks till he can even come out.
I mean, I got to think, though, the Herbert-KC matchup in the playoffs, that feels like it could be a game. That feels like 2 quarterbacks
that sounds
where the
like
coaches are going to let them go down swinging.
And like have to be running back. They're going to have to do a lot to get back in that. The defense, the line doesn't match here. And if you're putting the Chiefs' defensive line against the Chargers' offensive line, I'm taking the Chiefs 10 out of 10.
Is it just is it an offensive line tiebreaker when it's this
Yes.
razor thin? Like I actually gotta ask myself,
110.
Is it just
go the other way? If you go the other way around, it's going to be close to the same too. So yes, it might be a little bit of a barn burner. Right now, the Chiefs lost 3 of their offensive linemen. 3. Simmons is going to be out for a minute. So is going to Jawan Taylor. He's not doing well, and their right guard is currently out. So they're going to have a rough go the next few weeks because they're going to be having 3 new offensive linemen on that team. It's going to be a rough go, even though Patrick Mahomes did very well in fantasy-wise. I'm telling you, it is going to be a rough road for them moving forward, and they might start turning it back a little bit because of the concept that, right now they're trying to fight to get in, but they might be to a point where they can't. So we'll see how that goes in the next few weeks. But I like Dak's schedule a lot better. The team has been meshing a little bit better. Pickens is taking a step up, which is what they wanted. I can't not go with that group.
Dude, this is challenging me as an analyst from like what's my tiebreaker when it's razor thin, right?
And I love
what do I just
guys.
believe in when it's this razor thin? It's what criteria is weighted more or less for me, and like for me, it usually comes down to who do I think is just the better quarterback if the situation isn't a big difference. And I'm really having to ask myself: is the situation that bad for Herbert with a bad O-line, with a good running? Like, do they have to put up a lot of points? I'm looking at his box scores and defense, just like from a points per game. 6, basically 0, then 3, 6, 5, 2, and 2, and in like rush, in what he would score in extra points per game just with rushing. It's like it's a decent amount. I have to like Dak a lot more than I have to like Herbert rest of season.
Let's keep moving though, because I do need to get off pretty soon.
Very good. I was on that boat too. So we got Church. He goes Ladd or Michael Wilson.
Ladd easily.
Ladd.
Interesting. I'm going Michael Wilson here. I like what he's been doing lately. Brissett's been passing the ball more. Their team has been passing a lot more. I like that they had the bye week, but it's going to be a rough go for them. Io, what's going on, man? He goes, I got the Texans defense in versus banged up Jones and Bucks D. Thinking Texans this week and Bucks next week. Thoughts?
I wouldn't worry about like future defenses because I streamed them anyway. You don't need to hold on to 2 of them. I know that a lot of people with the playoffs coming up like to strategize and try to like get some stashes that they think might be good in any given week, but I don't necessarily agree with that because too much can change in a whim's notice, and if that happens, then you could miss an opportunity to get something else to replace what you thought you were going to do. So I like to just take things week to week, and as long as you have your studs in your starting lineup, I'm fine with that. But Texans absolutely this week, and I would say just, see who the better matchup is going to be next week, and then just go with that.
Yeah, Texans destroyed the Bills with their defense. I think they're matchup proof. I just want to go with a safe defense that's really good against everyone else has to fear the Texans defense versus the Texans having to fear literally any matchup in the entire NFL straight up. I'm kind of just staying the Flames with the better, one defense is going to play really good every single game. That's the Texans.
This is the perfect question for you guys. What's going on with Dunze? Should I be worried during the playoffs? He has every reason to maintain a high floor, but doesn't convert on his opportunities.
You go first, Kendall.
I'm probably above where the market's at with him because I still think the targets are valuable. He still has a pretty good red zone role. I mean, I know that hasn't happened with the DJ Moore taking a couple of touchdowns the other day, but I think that's more of a symptom of Caleb getting better and finding the open man. Rome's still a better first read. That's going to happen more often than not. What worries me a little bit more is that we're the number 1 rushing team in the NFL right now. And I think the way we win is by running the pass open situationally and with the emergence of Loveland. And it's not the box score Loveland. It's like Evan mentioned earlier, watch where he's used in the game, high leverage situations where the game's in the line. That's kind of where they're starting to go. And that's taking away what was exclusively Rome territory, right? Valuable clutch touches and targets, right? So for some of the reasons that wouldn't necessarily make me hurt Rome rest of season from what he's done negatively. I think from other options mouths, us wanting to run the game more, overall passing touchdowns probably going down a little bit more, us being able to play defense and run the ball like old school NFC North Bears football in enough scripts to where Rome's less needed. It lowers his ceiling enough where there's flex plays that I'm finding over him. But in most of my leagues, I don't have an option, right? It has to be a pretty thin league where I'm not considering starting Rome. Like I'm not going to take a Jacoby Myers over Rome. I'm not going to do a Jaden Higgins over Rome, right? I'm not going to do a John Mechie over Rome where you know what I mean? Like you could give me Debo's and stuff where it's getting a little bit closer, but on average, I'm still
he's a top 2.
He was the wide receiver 3-4 to start the season, essentially.
Oh, agreed.
And that can easily come back. There's no reason it couldn't. But it might look a little bit more like a McConkey, where there's just a lot of other good weapons, and sometimes the game script doesn't favor you. So it doesn't scare me off enough for your question. But I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't say there are reasons to think that he's probably no longer a wide receiver 1 rest of season.
Agreed.
Well, Rome Odunze was never a wide receiver 1 to me anyway. He will have his upside weeks in matchups where the Bears have to throw the football down the field, especially when Caleb wants to chuck it deep to Rome Odunze because he's so good at running those routes. Caleb is also starting to polish his game too, where he even again today against the Philadelphia Eagles, he had some pretty bad throws that Odunze could not come down with. And yeah, that is Caleb's fault, but he is getting polished by Ben Johnson as a former quarterback. Ben Johnson was himself. And it'll take a little bit of time, but there's nothing to worry about here as it pertains to Rome Odunze. He's got some pretty good matchups coming up, except Week 15 against a tough Cleveland Browns secondary, where the Bears are really going to be tested against a tough Browns defense. But otherwise, they play the Packers twice, who have a very overrated defense, and then the 49ers, who are also very beatable with all their starters pretty much hurt. And that's going to be championship week. So Rome Odunze is a wide receiver 2, a low-end wide receiver 2 until further notice. You can absolutely start him if you have nobody else better, but I would say there's nothing to panic about with Odunze as long as your expectations are tempered properly.
Yeah, I have to agree with Evan on that part. I think the problem with the Odunze is Caleb, unfortunately. Well, whenever I watch the Bears, which has been pretty often this season just because the Giants have been in that division and so has most of the NFC East. So I've been able to watch them a little bit more. And the more that I keep watching him from the eye test, from me getting to watch, he gets very scared if his first read's gone, he's scared. And then he pretty much just scrambles. And I will give him credit. He is a magician in the freaking pocket. I've never seen a guy get out of these collapsing pockets like he can. It's just unbelievable. And he has I think he's the most completions on the run than any other quarterback in the league. I'll give him that. But he's always on the run. And that's his problem, is that he's consistently moving and off his base where the play is supposed to be. And he's always just like, oh no, I gotta go. He's just running around. He's got ADHD in the pocket, and he just can't just stand there and throw or just look at his read and take it. There's been so many times that I've been watching the game and I'm like, DJ Moore wide open, and he just looks the other way. And it doesn't make any sense to me. And I just use DJ Moore instead of Rome, but same concept though. He always just looks somewhere else. I don't know what it is. I agree with Evan being a low end wide receiver too. He has, mid wide receiver 1 upside, but at the end of the time, it's hard for me to trust him unless I have, certain options. But he is a top tier guy, so it's hard for me not to sit him.
Kendall, I don't know if you saw this earlier today, but Jalen Hurts kind of did the same thing that Mike just mentioned, where he had Dallas Goedert wide open in the second quarter and missed him.
Oh my God, he did. That was insane.
Thank goodness he missed him.
Yeah.
Literally that. I was thinking the same thing. Like, whoa, we just dodged a freaking bullet. He is blind.
Yeah.
I wanted to lower Jalen Hurts in like every ranking that exists, because what the hell was that?
I'm not a big Jalen Hurts fan either, but I've been on record for that one. Anyway. Fighting solves everything. I love it. That's a great one.
As a jiu-jitsu guy, I love that name.
So Herbert or Burrow, unfortunately, this already happened. So I'm assuming you played Burrow, and I'm hoping you did. CMC, JT, good for you. Quentin Junkins, Woody, Monty, Hendo, B-Rob, nice. Way to flex. Puka, Tet, Higgins, Franklin, Warren, Bowers. Holy shit. 2-2-2 wide receiver flex. Okay, lineup recommendation, if you will. None. You like none. You currently have a.
He's 2-2-2, right? So it's basically a pick 6.
I mean,
CMC,
right now,
JT, lock, Puka, T for me. Assuming the concussion is way fine. That is a lock for me. And then it's pick 2 flex. Hendo's my first flex in, and I got to pick a 5th after Hendo.
Yeah, I mean, it's CMC, JT.
I think I'm going Hendo,
Woody. Puka.
Say Franklin.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
the choice is Franklin, Woody, Huge.
I guess
right?
Woody and then Warren.
We already said Franklin over Tet in multiple other takes earlier, so we know we're Franklin over them.
I have Bowers at tight end 3 and Tyler Warren tight end 5. I'd still go Bowers.
Would you just go Tyler Warren and Bowers over Franklin? Yeah.
Oh, then I would do those.
I would go Bowers, Warren over Franklin. Yeah, so
I would happily go double tight end here.
I would be going to, and then the second fight, whoever your flex is
actually,
one of the tight
I might
ends
only do
Hendo.
I might even just do Warren and sit Bowers. That's what I would do.
I wouldn't sit Bowers.
I think Bowers is basically a wide receiver 1 when the team's playing reasonably, and I think they're reasonable enough where I couldn't do Franklin over a Bowers on. Franklin suffers from the same things that Bowers does, but Bowers is kind of just a better NFL player.
Going against the Chargers are going to make them look silly. I'm sorry.
But the last time Bowers played the Chargers, 5 for 8 for 38, which was I would not expect him to repeat that low of a floor. I expect him to do better this time. I think you got to go double tight end here.
Going against James, though.
Don't care. You gotta play him over Franklin and
there's no
Tetero
defender
McMillan.
on the planet where I'm like, oh yeah, Bowers is going to be in trouble.
James
Bowers
is the only guy that I would.
Bowers is matchup proof.
Yeah,
you're a fool if you bench Bowers. Do not do it.
Yeah, I mean, I get that
over
Bowers
Warren though.
games,
I would play Warren over him though.
I'd play both
if you can. Yeah, I guess him over Franklin, but
Tyler Warren is a high upside play.
I mean, he's come down to earth recently, but you got to look.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's because he didn't fall in the end zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, 8 for 10 for 99 against the Falcons, like that's like you don't need to fall in the end zone for that one.
Yeah.
Both of them need better touchdown luck too. Like the touchdowns are coming. They have to, right?
They have to.
So hashtag goes, I'll add this if y'all got time. If Olave is injured, I'll likely drop someone in order to bring Harrison Jr. off of IR to make the bench swap. Who are we dropping in order to start Debo from his
That's
grouping?
Back to his lineup that he posted earlier.
I'm going back up.
Actually, he did not. I would need to see your team to make that appropriate decision.
It would be Pittman.
I wouldn't drop Pittman.
No, I would not. I would keep Harrison on your. I would keep Harrison on your bench.
He had Terry and Debo, right?
Terry, no, he had. Let me see. No, this is Debo, Olave, Breece Hall, and Pittman, and Harrison. I'm
Brown.
not. I'm just going to keep.
I need the rest of the roster though.
I'm keeping Harrison Jr. on the IR and keeping who I currently have. No Terry.
Okay.
I'm honestly doing that because he's saying here, Pittman is hard to drop. RJ Harvey is not on waivers. I just dropped Woody Marks to pick up the Eagles to stream for week 15 and 16 and holding Seattle for week 17. Woody is already picked up as well.
I would not do that, Hashhead. I would not be stashing. I would not be stashing defenses ahead of time just to try to make a run in the playoffs because you don't necessarily know who they're going to lose in the meantime. That could affect their matchup. So I wouldn't do that. I would just drop one of the defenses and hold on to let's see, Olave or Harrison Jr. I'd hold on to Harrison Jr. because he's still going to be worthwhile. He's not wide receiver 1 value, but you know what I mean.
But you can
look. This is a philosophy question, though, right? Like this is not a who do you like better than the other player, right? This is me and Evan are both on the like. I'm keeping everybody because I'm dropping Dak and I'm just keeping Stafford the rest of the way and stuff like that, right?
And I was just gonna say he has Dak on the bench and Stafford as my starter. Both, he wants both for the playoffs.
I wouldn't keep 2 quarterbacks if you can help it, but they're very close.
I'm not keeping 2 quarterbacks and 2 defenses, but I am going to keep one of the 2, and not the defense in this case. I'd keep the quarterback.
I'll let you keep one of the 2, but definitely not both. You can't stash a defense and a quarterback.
You can do one or the other.
Or let me put it this way: you can't say dropping Pittman is hard, and in the same sentence say, "But I really want to stream."
Well, remember this is a
quarterback and this is an defense. Like you can't. I know it's always going to be a painful drop if you're keeping backups that you hope to not play outside of streaming, right?
He's got Stafford, Dak, Chase Brown, Gibbs, Henry, AJ Brown, Olave, Pittman, Harrison Jr., J-Mo, Debo, and the Seattle and Eagles.
I would just drop Debo, though. If you have to, I'm dropping Debo.
Now, being that this is an 8-team league, I'm not dropping Debo. I'm dropping Dak, and I'm dropping one of the 2 defenses. That depends on the hot one of the week. Like, you can drop the Eagles defense right now and then maybe pick them back up later if the matchup is good enough. But I would go after skill players on your bench because it's an 8-team league. They're going to be plentiful. You don't want your opponents picking up a solid running back or a solid wide receiver. You want to hold on to the right running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. You want to hold on to as many as possible. That's the best way to shut out your opponents from getting talent. Quarterbacks, not so much because it's a 1-quarterback league. Same thing with defenses. You're only starting 1 anyway. They're not that big of a deal in this format.
Yeah, no, and I get what you're doing, Hash.
I see it.
I see what you're doing, and I agree with the quarterback scenario.
Yeah.
I'm not dropping one of those 2. I'm dropping one of those defenses that you mentioned. And it's just because there's no point in having the 2 defenses like you're trying to do. And in this case, that's only if you want to bring up Harrison Jr. If you don't want to bring him up and you want to keep those defenses for another week, that's fine. Then leave Harrison in your group and make it where you can at least go another week, and then next week you can put one of them on waivers or drop one of them and bring up Harrison. I mean,
but look, Harrison comes back in a week.
Because
right?
you're not going to use him unless you need
I
it.
guess I'm asking a question. How many games the rest of the season does he start Debo and still have a title winning chance, basically? Like, if he's starting Debo with the rest of his team, that means Olave's out, and it means Marv is somehow out too. Like, I'm just not saying Debo doesn't actually get in his lineup if the players that are supposed to be healthy are healthy rest of season. I'm fine if you want to play for max upside, right? Keep all your stashes, but you have to assume the rest of your team is perfectly healthy, and you got to drop a painful drop that you will definitely never play, because you have to assume everyone's healthy because we're playing max PPG, right? Yeah. If that's the philosophy, then you don't stash any flexes is the idea.
I understand the keep away strategy that you're doing, Hashhead. I get it, but first of all, it's way too early to start playing keep away, and second of all, you don't want to drop a skill player that Lamar Lover wants to get. Like, if Debo falls in the end zone and does better than the rest of your lineup, you're going to feel bad that you ended up dropping him. And because like I said, wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends are far more valuable in an 8-team league compared to quarterbacks and defenses. And if somebody else wants to waste bench spots on quarterbacks and defenses, let them make that mistake. Your best bet is to get the best skill players at the 3 positions that I mentioned. If you choose not to go in that direction, that's totally fine, but that's what I would do.
So he's also mentioning, like, should he drop Seattle's defense? Yes, I would. But here's the thing. Eagles, if you really think about what has happened the last 2 weeks, they have gotten beaten by the Bears. They have gotten beaten by Dallas.
The Eagles were supposed to be a great play last week. We're supposed to be a good play.
They have been having something going on in that defense the last few weeks that I can't put my foot on. It's scary to see. They could lose to a team like the Rams or Washington at one point. It's a better matchup comparatively. But if you're dropping one of the two, I mean, Seattle's been playing pretty well. I haven't looked at their
Seattle's a better scoring defense. Like,
they're a better
Seattle against a good opponent seems like they're scoring more fantasy points.
So they're going to be going. They have a much. They got the Colts in 15, Atlanta next week, which is a good matchup for them. Oh no, you are keeping Seattle's defense. They're facing Baltimore this week. Do not drop them today. Or
go ahead and drop the Eagles defense.
Drop the Eagles defense.
I have dropped the Eagles defense in places where I specifically picked them up for the playoff schedule. Like, I've done exactly what you're doing in 7 bench where I have that space, and I don't trust them anymore. I have a better option.
You're not dropping the Eagles. You're keeping the Seattle Seahawks while they're playing Bozemer, Kirk Cousins, and then, who knows with Daniel Jones at this point. The only hard matchup is 16.
Seattle's defense is on.
Worry about it then. Worry about your defense then. Get rid of the Eagles
in Seattle. Dude.
So guys, we got to
wrap it up. I know
we got to start speed running this because I got to go in about 10 minutes.
Understood. No, you're good. We got one more question. We got one more question here. So fighting solves everything goes. So we agree. CMC, JT, Puka, Franklin, Warren, Bowers, and Henderson. Sitting Tet and Juckins.
I mean, Henderson, I don't think is still a must start at this point, even though he clearly has the lead back position. I mean, even then, it's like, I know that the starting, they can't stop the run very well, but I'm not benching Bowers or Warren.
No. So he's good. He's saying just sit Juckins and Tet. And yes, the answer to me, for me, is yes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm playing this this group.
Yep. Let's do it.
I like it. Let's get to Frank. He goes, I'm in first place and probably have first round bye, so not going to need Burrow until week 16. Also have
Jaden Daniels
on IR. We have 2 IR spots. Okay. I have the Seattle defense and Fairbairn, which is great. So kind of set for the playoffs. Perfect.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. We already talked about that. We already did that. Awesome. So we definitely we got the appreciation from hey man, we appreciate it. We're here to help you guys. That's why we have no problem giving you guys as much info as possible. Fighting solves everything. Agrees. Drop the Philly defense. It's worth it.
Just really, like the Bears did. What up?
Oh, I like
Boom.
it. I like it. That was a
I know.
one.
You know what I'm saying? Come on.
All right,
man.
boys and girls, we're going to start wrapping this up. I just wanted to at least push our affiliates real quick. I just wanted to make sure you guys check out Phil at the Extra Point, as well as Kendall at the Fantasy Football Tavern when he gets back and starting to do a little content. Also, check out Evan's show as well, or his YouTube channel at Barely Fantasy. Make sure you guys are checking him out as well. Also, if you haven't already, please make sure you guys check out Underdog Fantasy. If you haven't already, please use promo code GETRIGHT when you guys sign up. They have great things like Pick'em. They also do a lot of best ball in the off season as well, but get started now. Lots of really good Pick'em choices this week. They also have a promo for Play 5, Get 100. So please use promo code GETRIGHT, and that is your play.
Before we wrap up, though, I want to give one more shout out and thank you to IO2004 and Robbie7301 for the super chats this evening. Super chats are not mandatory here on this show, but they are always greatly appreciated. And we get immediately to your question when you drop a super chat. It helps us out. We love the tips that you guys give us for the advice that we give you. We want you all to win. Thank you all so much. We hope to see more of it in the future if you can spare it.
Yes. So thank you, everybody, for coming today. Hashhead, Fighting Solves Everything. We really do appreciate it. Frank, everybody else that's joined. Church Boy, thank you. Raven, as always. Galaxy, Country Boy, Ricardo, Albert, everybody. Thank you for joining tonight. Make sure you guys check us out. Check me out on Sunday. I'll be here to help you with actives and inactives, like guys like Chris Olave. We also have Frank on Monday, and then hopefully maybe Phil back on Tuesday if he's not skiing. And then we got Frank on Wednesday, and then back here on Friday. So we'll see where I'm at by then. Hopefully my wife doesn't give birth before then. But beyond that, thank you everybody for joining. Good luck in your week 13 matchups. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. Thank you. I'm very thankful for this group right here. So thank you guys for coming and joining us today. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of their Thanksgiving weekend. I think it's time to play some music. Peace.